for those who are watching, Freedom waka na kuona huko ndani. Unawatch wakati wote. Thank you for tuning in. My brother Michael, uko pale baharini in Eldoret, thank you so much for also tuning in. And also my guys at Triple P Barbers, asanteni sana kwa kujiunga pamoja nasi, kina Kevo, kina Suzi, kina Chebet, kina Ali, asante sana, baraka tele kwenu. And we told you later on we'll be having the Samis. She's coming all the way from South Africa. Her name is Lingiwe Mlaba. Hey, hiyo jina, I think she will pronounce it proper for us. I'm sure there's a click sound mahali Sadiq, sindio? Lazima. So we'll get to know exactly how we pronounce that. But she's an amazing musician. I mean, she has quite a number of record labels on her name, including Universal Music LLC and many more, Argentina and so on and so forth. So we'll be talking about music, and this is an opportunity for you as a musician to tap in and to see how music is done even in other places in this continent. Otherwise, like we told you earlier, we'll be having Emily Wakhungu. I need to pronounce it proper, Wakhungu, you know, and she's here to share her testimony, an amazing testimony. And sometimes you go through situations and you come out of a situation that will have been terrible, worse and fatal, but you come out whole, and that's the point you say, you know what? Thank you, God, that you saved me from this situation, and thank you because I'm alive to witness your goodness even in my life. So Emily, karibu sana.
Thank you.
And good to have you. Thank you for coming through.
Thank you for having me.
Uko mzima, eh?
Kabisa.
Asante. How do you pronounce Wakhungu?
It's actually Nahungu.
Oh, sorry. Wa is for the guys, yeah? Nahungu is for the ladies. Nahungu.
Yes. Nahungu is unisex. But
Nahungu is unisex.
Yes.
All right. Do you have Wakhungu?
We do have Wakhungu.
But Wakhungu is for the male, whatever.
Well,
ama inaweza kuwa kokote tu.
I presume.
Yeah. I remember in primary school, I had some classmates. I think 2 or 3 of them, they were called Nahungu. And you have to pronounce it proper now.
Nahungu.
The
yes.
Has to come out proper.
It's got to be there. Otherwise, it's not my name.
It's not your name. Karibu sana. I think we'll allow you to introduce yourself. Then we get to hear your story.
Thank you for having me, Ndema.
Karibu.
My name is Emily Nahungu, and I can say that I am a treasured child of God.
Amen.
Beloved child of God.
Wow.
I am a wife to a wonderful man, and a mother of 3 children.
All right.
2 girls and 1 boy.
Okay.
Yes.
How old are the children?
My first one is 9,
right.
Actually turning 9 in March. My second born is 5 years,
right.
and my third born is 4 years.
All right.
Yes.
What do you do for a living, Emily?
I am a government employee.
All right.
I work for parastatal in the judiciary.
All right.
And I would just like to leave it at that.
All right. Let me not say much about that. Let me also leave it at that.
Yes.
It's important.
Thank you.
So, Emily, tell us about your upbringing. How was it? Where were you raised? And did you know God when you were growing up? That's where your story begins.
Yes. I was born and raised in Nakuru with very strict parents, especially my mom.
Right.
I know my mom is watching. She was quite strict.
Right.
And we grew up going to church. My mom and my parents are staunch Catholics. So all the time we'd go for catechism classes. Every Sunday we had to go to church. And every Saturday we had to go for catechism classes. So I grew up in church and knowing God and participating in church. Yes.
All right. So that foundation, what did it instill in you as you kept growing up?
As I grew up, I knew that apart from everything else that we treasure, there's a God in heaven who's very, very important. And the fact that there's nothing that can ever happen in this world to us and to everyone else without God having a hand in it.
Right.
So everything is about God. God inspires our lives. God has seen us through very difficult times. So to me, my number 1 priority, the first person I need to please in my life is God.
Right.
Yes.
Great. At 11 years old, something happened in your life that was a beginning of something else.
Yes.
Yes. Tell us about that.
I remember when I was actually 10 years old.
All right.
We had closed school, and it was the December holidays. And the entire holiday, we were going to church for catechism, and after that, we'd prepare for a conference that was supposed to be in December. And then I knew my parents were quite strict, so allowing me to go anywhere else, apart from, let's say, Ushago or something like that, was a problem. So what I did, because we were supposed to go to Cabernet to perform, and I was leading the children.
Right.
I was a soloist for the competition. I didn't tell my parents, but they knew. It had been announced in church that the children ministry would go to Cabernet. So I rehearsed with the other children for about 3 weeks, and I was a soloist. So everybody expected me to be there. Then when the D-Day came, I told my mom. I remember she was running a boutique, just someplace not very near our place. So I had to walk and tell her that I was supposed to travel. It was at around 11, and we were supposed to travel at 2 p.m.
Right.
I had already packed my bags. My dad was away on safari, so she was the only person I would seek permission from. So I went, told her, Mom, you've heard in church that the children's ministry is supposed to go to Cabernet to compete. And I've already packed my bags. Everything is set. I was just informing you that I was leaving. And she asked me, did you ask your father? I told her, it's been announced in church. Everybody knows. And you've been seeing me
Yes.
singing, leading them.
Right.
So I thought it was
almost
obvious.
huh?
It was almost obvious.
Uh-huh.
And actually, I had gone with my bag ready to go.
Right.
So she picked the bag, unpacked it, and asked me whether I was sure my dad would agree.
Right.
Those days, there were no mobile phones. So according to me, I felt like she didn't have another excuse other than my dad.
Right.
So she totally refused and said, until she gets permission from my father, I wasn't going anywhere. And I remember I started crying. And I cried. She told me to pack the bag again and go back home. And that's what I did. So I packed the bags and went back home. But when I was going, something came over me and I felt really hurt. I imagined that anyone who would not allow me to go and sing is someone who doesn't like me.
Right.
So I felt like my mom did not like me.
Uh-huh.
I love singing, and she knew that the choir would not perform without me. So it was such a difficult moment.
Uh-huh.
I did not unpack the bag when I went home. So I went home, but I was in a lot of pain. And I remember telling my sister and brother, just know that this is the last day you're seeing me.
Wow.
Yes. So the following day, I woke up as usual. Catechism classes were ongoing. So I took my notebook as usual. I took my notebook and left the house. But I wasn't going to church.
Yes.
What I did, I went straight to the bus stop.
Uh-huh.
I knew where my mother used to keep money. So I took 200 shillings, I remember, and went to the bus stop. And I boarded a bus. I decided I'm going to a place where no one will ever see me. If they cannot allow me to sing, then I am not important.
Yeah.
That's it. So I boarded the bus, and strangely, the conductor did not ask me where my parents were. I remember I was in sandals, I had a pen and a notebook. I boarded the bus and we went. We went to Kitale. I went to Kitale.
Did you know anyone in Kitale? Were you specific on the bus you were boarding, or just any bus that came?
Any bus, anywhere.
Right.
it was the one that was almost full. So I
Alright.
decided, what if
You got
someone sees me boarding the bus without my parents? So I decided, yeah, this is the first one. Why not? I got onto it and we left. And on that bus, there was a man who kept looking at me and asking me, where are your parents? I told him, my parents have already traveled, so
Alright.
they are waiting for me in Kitale.
On the other side.
On the other side.
Wow.
And we went and I reached. When I got there, I didn't know anyone. I didn't know where I was going. And I reached at around 3 p.m. So at 3 p.m., I walked up to around 6 p.m., just wandering. I had not eaten. I didn't know where I was going to sleep. I just had my book.
Your notebook, wow.
My notebook. Then I saw a signage written on blue triangle. Remember the
Yes,
blue triangle,
cement?
the cement, yes.
Right.
I noticed that I every time, every place I went, there was that signage. Then I realized later that I was just going round in circles, but I was just going round
it was the
same place. And I saw
Wow.
a dark corner, and it was written on Chief's Camp. I told myself, this is the place where I'll sleep tonight. So I went there, sat down, opened my catechism book. We had written some prayers on it. I just read through. I didn't think about my parents. I didn't think about anyone. At that moment, I just thought about my life as a street child. I had resolved that since I wasn't allowed to go and sing, then
I would
that's
rather be
it.
here.
I'd rather be here. After going through my catechism book, I closed my book and started walking. Then I asked a gentleman, just a random person, and I asked him, if I go this side, where will I be going? He told me, don't go that side. There's a forest. And in that forest, there are devil worshippers go there to worship. So don't go that route. This man didn't know me, and I wondered why he really scared me. So I took an about turn. Then I went back to where I was coming from.
Right.
And as I was going, I saw someone familiar. I saw someone wearing my dad's sweater. I saw someone wearing a trouser that looked like my dad's.
Okay.
Then I wanted to go back. I decided, this must be very, very strange. I walked towards him, and he was surprised and looked at me. As we were now approaching each other, he sort of like started running towards me. Then when we now met, he asked me, Emily, what are you doing here?
Was it your father?
No, it was my uncle. What are you doing here?
Wow.
I felt like running away because I didn't want anyone to see me. It had started getting dark. It was around 6:30 p.m., around that time. And he asked me, what are you doing here? Where's Daddy? Where's Mom? Where's Julius? He was in shock. I didn't have an answer.
Was your uncle staying in Kitale?
Apparently he was.
All right.
Yes.
And you knew him, right?
I knew him.
When you were going to Kitale, did it ever...
It did not cross my mind.
That there was someone there? It never?
It never crossed my mind. I was
So
going to a place where nobody would ever see me.
And here you meet your uncle.
Yes.
So your uncle texts you.
Yes. And he asked me so many questions that I couldn't answer. I didn't know what to tell him. I just told him, I don't know how I found myself here. I am here, and I don't know how I found myself
10 years
here.
old.
I was 10 years old.
Wow.
Yes.
So eventually, he takes you in.
Yes.
And you come back home.
He actually took me to his home, but I didn't want to stay there. Because my mission wasn't to go to any place where anyone knew me.
Right.
So it was quite difficult. I didn't speak for days. And those days, it was difficult communicating to anyone because
Right.
the mobile phones were not there.
Yeah, right.
So he had to send a telegram. He had
Yes.
to send a telegram to my father to inform him that I was there. So 3 days, my parents looked for me everywhere,
Wow.
in all
They were
hospitals.
worried.
They were worried. And actually, my mom, she told me later that she wished she just accepted and agreed that
You go for the
I go for the conference to
right,
sing.
right.
Yes, so after I stayed with my uncle for, I think, about a month. It was December. So the following year I was supposed to go to change classes now. But I was late for, I think, 2 months because I had totally refused to go back home.
Right.
Yes.
So finally you get to you come back to Nakuru
Yes, finally I come back home.
and you settle down.
I settled down, but it was a difficult time for me.
Right. Did you still have pain in your hand?
I was very, very bitter. I was very bitter. And the fact that I couldn't explain to anyone what had happened to me, it's been a secret for years. And my mom, for the first time on national television, she'll now know that I actually ran away. Yes.
So you never told
I
anyone?
never told anyone.
Why?
Why I ran away.
All
It
right.
was,
Did you get to a point where you found healing in yourself
yes.
as a small child?
Yes, I did.
All right.
When I went back to school, I had delayed for about a month, so I was late. But my teachers, anytime there was a festival or there was something to do with music,
Right.
they'd call me. When I was in class 3, actually, I used to lead the school choir. So they had this thing in them that they had to encourage me. And I remember one teacher called Mrs. Malala. She loved the way I used to sing.
Right.
So the fact that she made sure that I continued singing. And you know, as a child, sometimes you don't hold on to the bitterness for a
Right.
long
It's
time.
easy to release.
It's easy. It's easy. It just left my heart, and
Right.
yeah, I can say it's just God.
Amen.
Yes.
So here you are, Emily. I'm sure that was quite a lesson for you as you kept growing, even you doing music and so on. So you grow up, you know, here you are, you go to the university. I mean, you get married, and there's this one day, and this was quite an eye opener for you, even as someone who trusts God. So here you are, one day you're going to your home. Tell us the details of that story.
Well, I remember it was in 2014.
All right.
And that day really changed my life. It was in 2014. And I wasn't feeling well that day. And the previous day, I couldn't sleep. For some reason, I was unable to sleep. And then in the middle of the night, I remember it was at 2 a.m. My mother-in-law sent me a text message. And it read, "I have sent you angels to protect you." And once I read that text, I felt at peace.
All
And
right.
I slept. The following day, since I wasn't feeling so well, my husband took me to hospital, to Avenue Hospital. And I kept telling him, I am so scared. I am really afraid. I don't know why I have this fear in me, and it's so intense. I just want to be beside you. So he took me to hospital, and we came back. But in the afternoon, he had some errands to do. He had some things to do.
Right.
I told him, "You're not leaving me here. Everywhere you go,
I will go."
will follow you."
You were scared.
I was
Did
very
you know why?
scared. No,
You never understood why
I
you were
never
scared.
understood why I was scared.
All right.
So when we went, he told me whether I was sure I wanted to accompany him because he was doing some work,
Right.
and I'd really get bored. But I didn't mind. I didn't mind.
Right.
So as we were going, I changed my mind. I told him, now that we're going the same direction to where my salonist is, then why not? So I left him at Juja, where he was doing his work, and went to the salon.
All right.
But still, this fear was too much. And he asked me, "Are you sure you'll be fine?" I told him I'll be fine. So I went to the salon and came back. Rather, I went to the salon. And while I was there, before I got to the salon, I bought ceramic pots.
All right.
Like this one.
Yes.
Ceramic pots for flowers.
Yes.
And as we were boarding the pots in the car, the person who sold them to me, I told him, don't put the pot in front. Please put the pots at the back.
Right.
Because in case they break, they will hurt me.
Yes.
So make sure they are at the back. I told me, Madam, don't worry. Everything will be fine. Don't worry. People
That's
carry these
secure
things.
here.
It's
Yes.
secure. Don't worry. Everything will be fine. So he put the pots at the back, and then I went to the salon.
All right.
My husband didn't tell me that he'd leave before I picked him. So after I was done doing my hair, I called him. Where are you? He told me he had left. Now, that's when the fear crept in.
All right. Hold it right there. We will be coming back with Emily. And she says that's where the fear crept. Now, the husband has left. She's there alone. And she has to drive all the way to their home, right? So we will want to know exactly what happened when she was driving. And this is a beautiful story because even in that situation, God still came through for her. And we want to know the connection between what her mother-in-law told her and exactly what happened. When we come back right here on Tukuza, don't go away.